cooking up something good here at home. We are cooking up something good here at home.
Hello, family. We're so glad that you dropped by the kitchen today. It's always fun when you're here. Today we're going to be doing some main entrees and some unique things, and I think you're going to enjoy yourself. I have to tell you that, you know, we've came back to Cornerstone Television and we've done this new series of programs, and your response to our programs has just been overwhelming to me and also to all of us here. I've always known that you've enjoyed the program. I've always known that you liked what we did because we do doable things, no intimidation cooking. But to hear your wonderful comments and your kind remarks and all the things that you're saying and how you've prayed that this would happen, well, one thing for sure, God answers prayer. And if you've prayed for us to come back, then He answered your prayer and also my prayer too. And we're glad to be back. And thank you for your comments. Thank you for writing for the recipes. And I know you're going to be getting the cookbook, and this is a great idea for holiday giving, for yourself, just to give a friend, a housewarming, whatever. But your communication with us is really important. And I read every bit of mail that comes in. I read all the comments. And it's always nice to know that the family's out there, the family's supporting our efforts, and you're part of our family. And we're always glad to hear from the family. Thank you so much. We're going to get started now with our entrees, and we'll be back in just a minute, but here's the hint for the day. Stay with us. Here's today's at-home hint. Always place cooked foods on a clean plate, not one that has previously held raw meat, fish, or poultry. Bacteria from the raw food can migrate to the cooked foods.
If you have an at-home hint, a favorite recipe, or just a friendly greeting you'd like to share, we'd like to hear from you. Post it in the comments of this video or visit our Facebook page.
First, we're going to make a zucchini casserole. Zucchini is a really, really good vegetable for you, and it's a good versatile vegetable. You can do a lot of different things with it. What we've done here is taken about 6 or 7 zucchinis. We didn't peel them, but we scrubbed them really well and made them nice and clean, okay? And then we just sliced them into rings about, well, 1/8 to a 1/4 of an inch thick. You kind of want to make them uniform so that they all cook at the same rate. If some are real skinny and real thin, they'll cook to mush, and the other ones will still be firm and hard. So you want to do that. And you put oil on the bottom of your 13x9 baking dish, and then you just load these in, all right? Now we have about 1 cup of thinly sliced onions that we're just going to put all over the top of the zucchini. Now this is on page 86. If you have the cookbook, you can follow along. It's on page 86. And this is one of those, you know, I really like casseroles because you can do them ahead of time and you can get them in the fridge, and then you don't have to worry about them in the last minute when some, maybe, you know, your guests are coming up the walk or something. You're not thinking, oh, I got to get in the kitchen and work on it. You don't have to do that. When you have them prepared and it's in the fridge, you know that you got that oven good and hot. Just get in there, bring it out, and it's going to be good. Okay, so we're going to that's our onions all over the top of the zucchini. Now remember, this looks like, oh, it's so thick, Arlene, it's so high, but zucchinis cook down, so this will not be this high once the heat gets to them, they start to cook. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is take 2 cans, and this is seasoned diced tomato sauce. Hunt's makes this product. It's got all your seasonings. You can see there's a lot of seasonings in there, everything that you need, so you don't even really have to put a lot of stuff in with this, so you don't have to season a lot because a lot of the season is already in this can. And that makes your job a little easier to do, all right? There's one. Now, you just want to kind of evenly distribute this. This will soak down through the zucchini slices and the onions. Just make sure it doesn't go over the edge. Don't want that to happen. If you're a little worried, like you really need the 13x9 pan, but if you're a little worried, just cut back on your zucchini. Don't put so many in if it bothers you, but I tell you, this will cook down. All right, there's the second can. Now we have it covered. Push that around there pretty evenly, just like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is take some oregano, and we're going to sprinkle that just over the top. If you like a lot, put a lot on. If you don't, back off on it. I think oregano is associated with Italian cooking so much, almost as much as garlic is, because oregano is just like If you don't use oregano in a sauce, they say, "Oh, there's something missing in the sauce." Well, it's probably the oregano. So we're going to put some of that on there. And then what we're going to add is some garlic salt. What did I say about garlic and Italians? No sprinkler in there, so we're just going to go back and forth. Maybe a little bit more down here. Okay. Garlic salt and some black pepper, which we're going to give it a quick... There we go. And then... there's so many like little things here. I just have to make sure I get them all, so that's why I'm reading them off today. This is flavored breadcrumb. This is nice when it's got the flavors in it too. And you'll find on the recipe, I don't give any specific amounts. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just taking some handfuls and making sure it's all covered with just a light coating of the breadcrumb, just like that. All right, let's see, what else do we have to do? Now, we do the cheese. Oh, this is incredible. This is mozzarella cheese. You could use provolone, and it's shredded very fine, like so. And you just want to cover about 1.5 to 2 cups, something like that. Whatever you have, just make sure it's all covered, the entire surface. And we're going to cover this with aluminum foil. We're going to put this in the oven, just like so, all over. This is going to be a great dish. This is incredible. You could do, like if you had pork chops for dinner. Sometimes people don't like to do pork chops because it's hard to make the gravy or whatever. You know, do something like this and forget the potato. This is a very hearty dish, and I think your family would like it. If they like zucchini, they'll probably like this. And the seasoning, the flavorings are so good with this. Now we're doing the Parmesan. And that combination of those cheeses, oh boy, delicious, delicious, delicious. Okay? And there's a flavor that comes with Parmesan. Somebody said, well, if I just put the mozzarella on it. I find mozzarella to be a little bit bland. So I like to do the combination. Most of the time I use provolone because I really like it the best. Okay? We're going to cover this, and we're going to put it in the oven, and it's going to bake 35 to 45 minutes. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to give you a chicken casserole. Oh, is it good? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you love watching At Home with Arlene Williams? Then be sure to check out our new YouTube channel. It's filled with classic episodes from over 20 years of At Home, and more videos are added each day. And don't forget to click the subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode of At Home.
We just placed our zucchini casserole in the oven. It's going to bake, like I said, 35 to 45 minutes. And when you take the foil off, you'll see how wonderful. If you want that to brown a little bit, take the foil off, put it back in for about another 5 minutes or so, and that will brown up beautifully. It will cook down. It's going to be delicious. Another one, and this one's on page 74 if you have our cookbook. And if you don't, you're going to want to be sure that you send for one today. This is called MQ's Chicken Casserole. I've made this one a lot of times. My pastor and his family really like this, and his cooking buddies really like this one too. So I've made this a lot of times, and this is one of those that's great if you're having company because you don't have to worry about it. You make it, stick it in the refrigerator, covered, stick it in the refrigerator. About an hour before you're going to eat, you bring it out, preheat the oven, allow some extra time for the refrigerated part. This is a wonderful, it's well-rounded. We have about 2.5 pounds of chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken breasts that we've cooked and cut into cubes, all right? Now, you don't want to pulverize these. These maybe could be just a little bit smaller than this, but this is okay. This would be about just what you're looking for, okay? Then to this, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of slivered almonds, okay? And this is just assembling, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. Celery, this is about 1 cup of finely chopped celery. The crunch in this is incredible because when you bite into it, it's in a creamy sauce, and that crunch just adds such texture to it. It's not like sloppy creamy, it's got some body to it. All right, besides that, we're going to do some finely chopped onion. And we have 2 cans, this is great, 2 cans of water chestnuts sliced. This, again, is what's going to help to add the crunch to this. These are incredible. Be sure that when you buy them that you look for the word sliced on there, because if you don't, you'll get them whole or you'll get pieces not good, but you want to drain those, okay? And it's 2 small cans. All right. Now, let's see. We have everything in there that I can think of except the kitchen sink, as Mama used to say. Now we're going to add about 1.5 cups of mayonnaise. Just like that. And 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. This is what makes the basis for this. Oh, I can't tell you how good this thing is. I mean, it's just, it gets hot and bubbly. It's how you test it to make sure that it's done. You go into the center of your baking dish, and you put a spoon in there, in the very center, because remember, it bakes or cooks from the outside in. So when you get to the center, then you'll know if that's hot. Put the spoon in there, bring some out. If it's piping hot, if it's steaming, you know that you are completely ready to serve. If not, leave it in there until it is completely done. Now, just going to mix all of this together. You see, I didn't mix the onion first, and I didn't mix the celery first. Just put it in there and mix it all together. The mayonnaise mixes with the soup, and that creates the sauce that the chicken and the water chestnuts and everything cooks in. I tell you, this is wonderful. I've made this so many times. If you would rather not use almonds, put some pecans in. Haven't tried it that way, but hey, I'd be game for it. You know, that's the thing, the beauty part about cooking, that you don't have to be limited. Well, you know, my family, I can't make that because they don't like almonds. So try walnuts. So try, how about peanuts? Why not? Try whatever your family likes. Just make, that's one of the things about the cookbook that I like the most, because you know what kind of recipes I do. I do simple, easy recipes that are doable and achievable. That's what that cookbook's full of, all those recipes. And one of which is this one that, like I said, when we found this, I said, haha, we're making that and it's going to be good. All right, now we're going to put this into our baking dish. Maybe I better put some tarragon in there. I knew that was sitting here for a reason. This is like the key. This is, if you make it and don't use this, it won't taste great. We all agreed with that here. And I'm going to put, let's see, 1.5 teaspoons of tarragon. Okay, that's about 1 teaspoon. Thanks, Linda, for reminding me. This is about 1/2. I've made this and made it without it, and I'd say, what is wrong? It just doesn't taste as good as when you use it. Really, this is true. Okay, now we're going to mix it up. One more quick mix to distribute that evenly. How easy could this be? The easiest way to cook your chicken, put it on a flat plate, single layer, put your chicken breast on a flat plate. Do not use plastic wrap. We all heard that that could be toxic because of the chemicals that it leaves off when it comes under heat. So don't use that, but use a paper towel, piece of wax paper, something like that, and just lay it on top of it, and then just cook it until you can see that it's cooked and it's done. Doesn't take about 4 minutes, I think, for about 4 chicken breasts. And that's the easiest way. You don't have to get the pan out and boil it, and sometimes you boil it to death when you cook chicken that way. You don't want to do that. Okay, whoops. There's Mike's taste right there. I almost lost it, Mike. Doggone, can't do that. Oh man, this crew would tar and feather me if I didn't get that last bite for somebody. Okay, so now we just evenly distribute this because we're not done yet, because we're going to put a topping on this. This is incredible, this topping. Okay? You need something a little crunchy, right? That's what I think would go on here. We take a bag, large bag of chips, and this is where you let the kids get involved. Just let them break them all up. Now this is under pressure, so we're going to open them like so. And you can see we've crushed them pretty much. Not fine enough yet. We're going to place them into a Ziploc bag, a large Ziploc bag. The way you do that, you take the whole bag, stick it in there, and then dump. Don't let the kids try to do it any other way because they'll be all over the floor. We all know that. Get rid of that. And you want to get the air out of this or this isn't going to work. And you zip it like this. And then you do this. And you mash them as fine as you can, because the finer, the better. Because this is the topping on our casserole, because when this bakes in the oven, this gets so crunchy and crispy. Oh, it tastes so good. And See when there's still some big pieces like that? Want to get rid of them. Now I need to let the air out because the air is not allowing me to get to the corners. There we go. Oh, this is going to be so good. If you've never done this, you owe your family, you owe your friends, loved ones. This would be great for the holidays. This is a treat, and you owe it to them to do it. Just do it once. I tell you, if you do it once, everybody's going to like it. Okay. Now, I'd probably go a little finer with those if I had time. But now we just put this. Am I doing this right? Yeah. I think I might have put the cheese on first. Let me put some cheese on here first. A little bit of cheddar, just like so. Let's put that, then we'll cover it with, I think I like it better that way. Actually, you could do it either way. Whatever you like best is fine. Oh, my mouth is watering. I can taste this now. And it just bakes very simple because it's only like 30 minutes. And again, like if you make this ahead of time and you have it refrigerated, you would want to allow some extra time because it'll be cold, room temperature, and then chilled takes some extra time, okay? Now, I wanted to show you another, while I'm finishing this, I'll talk you through it, another recipe, and it's for bundt bread. And when we come to the close of the show, I'll show it to you. It's so simple. You take a bundt cake pan, and you put a stick of butter, which is a half a cup, in that pan and put it in the oven and let it melt, okay? Then you get these refrigerated biscuits like this, and you don't pull them apart, but you start to feed them around the bundt pan. A bundt pan's like an angel food cake pan, but it's fancier, okay? Okay, and so this is a bundt pan right here. And so what we do then is just feed those biscuits around that, and then we bake them. You would not believe the loaf of bread you would get out of that just by using 3 cans of Hungry Jack or any kind of a refrigerated biscuit. It's so simple, so easy, and what a wonderful topping to a holiday meal or a special occasion. You just don't want to go and get a loaf of bread, or you don't want to make garlic bread or whatever. This bread is to die for, as they say. Well, not really, but it's really good. Nothing's to die for, I'll tell you that. All right, this is going to go into a preheated oven. Look, we use that whole bag. You wouldn't think you use all those potato chips, but it shows you that that whole bag just covered the top of it. This will go into a preheated 450 degree oven, okay? And this is going to be in there. As soon as you get it into the oven, you turn it down to 350, and then it bakes at 350. You have to have that heat up there, that intense heat, to get it started and to crisp up the chips on top, and then you turn it down to the 350 and you bake for about a half hour. We're going to come back in just a minute. When we do, you're going to see everything that we've prepared, and even that bundt bread. We'll be right back in just a minute.
Just go to ctvn.org/athome to get all the recipes from today's show for free. That's right, no subscriptions. They're available online at no cost, and more are being added each day. So join us at ctvn.org/athome to get today's recipes now.
I want to show you everything that we've made. First of all, here's our zucchini casserole. You know, it's got the wonderful cheese and the onions and the tomato. Oh, that is incredible. Doesn't that look wonderful? With to it, oh my goodness, this is the MQ chicken casserole. This is an incredibly wonderful casserole with chicken, big chunks of chicken, and you will enjoy that, and you're going to really, really like that a lot. Next to that, this is the bundt bread. Remember I told you about the bundt bread? Look how beautiful this is. And what's nice about this, you don't have to cut it. You merely break it apart because it's biscuits that you've put in that bundt pan. And what we put along with this, of course, is butter. You could use that if you wanted to. But I have some lemon curd, some jelly would be nice with that. We've also added some cranberry sauce to go with chicken. Anytime you have a chicken dish, you're just looking for something a little bit extra, put cranberry sauce with it. That will work very well. And then we also, I didn't tell you, but it's in the book too. This is Paul's mother's recipe for wilted salad. This is a German dish. And you use bacon, you make your own dressing, bacon and vinegar. Oh, this is incredible. It is so good. And the aroma here, of course, bacon always smells good. So I hope you've enjoyed today's program. Hope you'll give some of these dishes a thought and think, hey, I could add that to whatever. You could put a little bit of garlic salt in with that bundt bread. Oh, that would be great. A little cheese on top maybe. Let your imagination go. But be sure to join us the next time, because it just wouldn't be the same without you here at home. We'll see you then.
Food provided by McGinnis Sisters Special Food Stores in Brentwood and Monroeville. Taste the world.
Don't forget to click the subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode of At Home. Thank you for watching.
Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.